Morgan Stanley is an American multinational investment bank and financial services company headquartered at 1585 Broadway in Midtown Manhattan, New York City, with office in 41 countries and more than 75,000 employees. The firm clients include corporations, government, institutions, and individuals. Morgan Stanley ranked number 61 in the 2023 Fortune 500 list of the largest United States corporations by total revenue, and in the same year ranked 13 in Forbes Global 2000. Company type public. Headquarters Morgan Stanley Building, New York City, New York, US. Area served international service. Product investment banking, sales and trading, commodities, prime brokerage, wealth management, investment management, mutual fund, exchange traded fund, index fund. Revenue 54.1 billion 2023, operating income 11.8 billion 2023, net income 9.1 billion 2023, total asset 1.1919 trillion 2023, total equity 100.0 billion 2023, number of employee 80,006 2023. The original Morgan Stanley formed by J.P. Morgan and Co. partner Henry Morgan, Harold Stanley and others came into existence on September 16, 1935 in response to the Glass-Steagall Act, which required the splitting of American commercial and investment banking businesses. In its first year, the company operated with a 24% market share, 1.1 billion in public offering and private placement. The current Morgan Stanley is the result of the merger of the original Morgan Stanley with Dean Ritter Discover and Co. in 1997. Dean Ritter, Chairman and CEO, Philip J. Purcell, became the Chairman and CEO of the nearly merged Morgan Stanley Dean Ritter Discover and Co. The new firm changed its name back to Morgan Stanley in 2001. The main area of business for the firm today are institutional securities, wealth management, and investment management. The bank is considered systematically important by the Financial Stability Board. Morgan Stanley is a financial service corporation that, through its affiliated and subsidiaries, advise and originate, trade, manage, and distribute capital for institution, government, and individual. The company operates in three business segments: institutional securities, wealth management, and investment management. Early year 1935 to 1997, Morgan Stanley traced its roots to J.P. Morgan and Co. After the U.S. Congress passed the Glass-Steagall Act in 1933, it was no longer possible for a corporation to have investment banking and commercial banking business under a single holding entity. J.P. Morgan and Co. chose the commercial banking business over the investment banking business. As a result, some of the employees of J.P. Morgan and Co. moved Notably, Henry S. Morgan and Harold Stanley left J.P. Morgan and Co. and joined other from the Drelex partner to the Morgan Stanley. The firm formally opened its door for business on September 16, 1935 at 2 Wall Street, New York City, just down the street from JP Morgan. The firm was involved with the distribution of 1938 100 million of debenture for the United States Street Corporation as the lead underwriter. The firm also obtained the distinction of being the lead syndicate in the 1939 U.S. Real Financial. The firm went through a recognition in 1941 to allow for more activity in its securities business. The firm was led by Perry Hall, the last founder to lead Morgan Stanley from 1951 until 1961. During this period, the firm co-managed the World Bank AAA rate bond offering of 1952, as well as coming up with General Motors US $300 million debt issued. 231 million IBM stock offering and the 250 million AT&T debt offering. Morgan Stanley credited itself with having created the first viable computer model for financial analysis in 1962, thereby starting a new trend in the field of financial analysis. Future President and Chairman Dick Fisher contributed to the computer model as a young employee, learning the Fortran and COBOL programming language at IBM. In 1967, it established the Morgan and Cie International in Paris in attempt to enter the European securities market. The firm acquired Brock, Harvey and Co. Inc. in 1967 and established a presence in the real estate business. The sale and trading business is believed to the brainchild of Boom Baldwin. In 1996, Morgan Stanley acquired Van Campen American Capital. Morgan Stanley Institutional Securities is the most profitable business segment. This business segment provides institutions with investment banking services such as capital raising and financial advisory, services such as merger and acquisition advisory, restructuring, real estate and project finance, and corporate leading. The segment also encompasses the equities and the fixed income division of the firm. Trading is anticipated to maintain its position as the engine room of the company. Among the major U.S. banks, Morgan Stanley sources the highest portion of revenue from fixed income underwriting, which was reported at 6.0% of total revenue in FY12. Wealth Management. The Global Wealth Management Group provides stockbrokers and investment advisory service. This segment provides financial and wealth planning service to its clients, who are primarily high net worth individuals. On January 13, 2009, the Global Wealth Management Group was merged with C.T. Smith Barney II from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Morgan Stanley owned 51% of the equity and Citi held 49%. On May 31, 2012, Morgan Stanley exercised its option to purchase an additional 14% of the joint venture from Citi. In June 2013, Morgan Stanley stated it had secured all regulatory approval to buy Citigroup remaining 35% stake in Smooth Barney and would proceed to finalize the deal. In February 2019, the company announced the acquisition of Solium Capital, a manager of employee stock plan, for $900 million. In October 2022, the company completed its acquisition of E-Trade, a deal announced in February 2020 for $13 billion, the biggest acquisition by a US bank since the global financial crisis. Investment management provide asset management product and service in equity, fixed income, alternative investment, real estate investment, and private equity to institutional and retail client. Third party retail distribution channel, intermediaries, and Morgan Stanley institutional distribution channel. Morgan Stanley asset management activities were principally conducted under the Morgan Stanley and Van Campbell brand until 2009. On October 19, 2009, Morgan Stanley announced that it would sell Van Campbell to Invesco for $1.5 billion, but would retain the Morgan Stanley brand. It provides asset management product and service to institutional investors worldwide, including pension plan, corporation, private fund, non-profit organization, founding, endowment, governmental agencies, insurance companies, and bank. On September 29, 2013, Morgan Stanley announced a partnership with Longchamp Asset Management, a France-based asset manager that specializes in distribution of UCITS Hughes Fund, and La Franchise AM, a multi-specialist asset manager with a 10-year track record in alternative investment. In March 2018, Morgan Stanley acquired Mesa West, a leading U.S. commercial real estate credit platform, adding to its existing investment strategic and product offering across real asset and private credit. In March 2021, Morgan Stanley completed its acquisition of Eaton Vance, a deal announced in October 2020. With the addition of Eaton Vance, Morgan Stanley now had $5.4 trillion of client assets across its wealth management and investment management segment.